Have you ever been in a situation where you felt completely invisible? You had the facts, the logic, and the perfect argument, but your words just seemed to bounce off the person you were talking to? It's a frustrating modern paradox. We're taught that the person who is most passionate, or perhaps the one who shouts the loudest, is the one who wins the argument and earns the spotlight. We see it on television, in political debates, and even across the family dinner table. The volume is high, but the wisdom is low. But what if I told you that true, lasting influence has nothing to do with decibel levels? What if the real power isn't in the force you apply, but in the surgical precision of your response? Imagine this. You are standing firm, not by leaning into the tension, but by radiating a quiet, unshakable confidence. You walk into any high-stakes interaction, a negotiation, a performance review, or an intense disagreement, and without ever raising your voice, you drop a phrase that immediately changes the climate of the room. A phrase so clear, so perfectly aimed, that the other person is compelled to pause, recalibrate, and treat you with the seriousness you deserve. The goal isn't to dominate the conversation. The goal is to master the conversation. Today, I'm going to share 5 high-leverage phrases. These aren't just polite suggestions, they are verbal boundaries carefully constructed to deflect conflict, assert self-respect, and instantly elevate your stature in the eyes of others. It doesn't matter if the person is an aggressive colleague, a dismissive family member, or a confrontational stranger. These phrases are the linguistic keys to earning respect without ever having to engage in a battle of wits or a test of endurance. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because the third phrase we'll explore is, in my experience, the single most powerful tool for de-escalation and authority I've ever encountered. It's so effective, it can turn an opponent into an observer and completely neutralize a hostile interaction. The philosophy of unshakable presence. Our journey begins not with a tactical trick, but with a fundamental principle of human psychology and ancient philosophy. The great Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius taught us that our worth is not measured by the quality of the events that happen to us, but by the quality of our response to those events. In the context of communication, this means abandoning the instinctive, emotional reaction. You don't need to mirror someone's anger. You don't need to justify your position with endless data. Instead, you need to respond with a firmness that is rooted in serenity. The Stoics viewed the right words as a kind of moral armor. When you choose your words with care, you are simultaneously protecting your inner peace, your prohairesis, or power of choice, and establishing an external boundary. Think about the figures in history who truly commanded respect. They weren't the loudest demagogues. They were the voices of calm, conviction, and considered thought. They spoke with the authority of someone who had done their internal work. In our chaotic modern world where everyone seems to be perpetually reacting on social media and in person, the person who can maintain composure and deliver a precise, impactful statement is the one who is instinctively trusted and respected. Your calm tone is an amplifier for your powerful words. Now let's unlock these 5 linguistic tools that will allow you to do exactly that. 5 phrases that instantly command respect. Phrase 1. I've carefully considered your perspective, and my conclusion remains different. The most common trap in a disagreement is the rush to invalidate the other person's position. This immediately triggers defensiveness. The moment you say, "That's wrong," the other person stops listening and starts preparing their rebuttal. This phrase, however, is a masterpiece of empathetic assertiveness. I've carefully considered your perspective. This is the crucial de-escalating opener. It shows respect for the other person's intelligence and effort. It tells them, I was listening. I took you seriously.
This disarms them. And my conclusion remains different. This is the unshakable anchor. You are not saying they're wrong. You are simply stating a fact about your own mental state. You are the sovereign owner of your own mind. It's an undeniable truth.
4. I've determined that my time is better spent focusing elsewhere. Often, conversations devolve into endless, circular debates fueled by pride or a desire to simply have the last word. This is what we call an energy drain. Engaging in a pointless argument is a choice to squander your most precious, non-renewable resource, your attention. This phrase is a statement of sovereignty over your own mental landscape. It's not an emotional shutdown, it's a calm, rational prioritization. I've determined this is the showing the decision is based on a rational judgment made by you, the arbiter of your own life. It removes emotion from the equation. That my time is better spent focusing elsewhere. This makes it clear that the current topic or interaction has failed a value test. It's a professional and non-insulting way of saying, this is beneath me. Practical application. The provocateur. You are dealing with an internet troll in real life, someone who's only trying to bait you, provoke a reaction, or pull you into a messy, self-serving argument. You realize there is no resolution, only continued conflict. You simply look at them, maintain a relaxed posture, and say, I've determined that my time is better spent focusing elsewhere. We can pick this up when a concrete solution is on the table. This is the application of Marcus Aurelius's most profound advice on conflict. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You refuse to fall into their game of endless escalation. You calmly exit the arena, leaving them with nothing but their own noise. This act of self-preservation makes you appear strong, disciplined, and above the fray. 5. That is a valid opinion, and I respect your right to hold it, but I hold a different one. This phrase is designed for the situation where a final, conclusive end to a discussion is necessary, without damaging the relationship. It is the ultimate relationship-preserving assertion of autonomy. People often feel disrespected, not because you disagree, but because they feel you're trying to change their mind. This phrase eliminates that struggle entirely. That is a valid opinion, and I respect your right to hold it. This is a powerful, final stroke of courtesy. It validates them as a person with agency, which makes them far less likely to feel personally attacked. But I hold a different one. This is the unshakable point of your compass. It clearly, politely, and definitively states that the matter is closed for you. You have listened, you have processed, and you have chosen your own path. You have created two parallel, non-conflicting truths. Their truth is valid for them. Your truth is valid for you. You have affirmed their personhood while simultaneously protecting your intellectual freedom. Seneca believed that being a slave to the opinions of others is the worst of prisons. This phrase is your key to escaping that invisible jail. You can still respect the person, but you are not obligated to surrender your mind to their judgment. It is the perfect fusion of courtesy and conviction. Conclusion. Respect is inspired by character. You now possess 5 linguistic tools that are calibrated for maximum impact with minimal emotional expenditure. They are, I've carefully considered your perspective, and my conclusion remains different. The unshakable conclusion. I'm going to need you to rephrase that. That language is not acceptable. The surgical boundary.
I will be happy to resume this conversation when a respectful tone can be maintained. The ultimate de-escalator. I've determined that my time is better spent focusing elsewhere. The statement of sovereignty. That is a valid opinion, and I respect your right to hold it, but I hold a different one. The relationship-preserving finality. The mistake most people make is believing that respect is something you must demand or fight for. The truth is, respect is not imposed by force. It is inspired by character. When you speak with precision, with intentionality, and with the serenity that comes from profound self-control, people instinctively listen. They measure their words more carefully. They afford you the space and deference you've silently but firmly claimed. Your voice doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be true. Begin to apply these phrases with serenity and conviction, and you will notice a fundamental shift in how people interact with you. You will feel a surge of inner strength as you effortlessly navigate conflicts that once drained you. At Stoic Spring, we delve deep into these principles, helping you to speak, think, and act with the wisdom of the world's great philosophers so that you can live a life defined by respect, inner peace, and unshakable mental fortitude. If you are ready to turn your words into your greatest tool, subscribe now and continue this journey towards a more empowered life. Tell me in the comments below, which of these 5 phrases do you anticipate using first and in what situation? I'll be actively reading and responding to your answers.